Power without loyalty. What happens when political machines start eating their own, when systems built on fear begin to crack? Something predictable happens. The people at the top scramble to protect themselves, and the people at the bottom suddenly realize they were never protected to begin with. History shows this pattern over and over again. Empires fall, regimes fracture, and loyalty, so loudly demanded, evaporates the moment accountability shows up at the door. This is not drama. This is how power behaves when it knows the spotlight is coming. What we are witnessing right now is not strength. It is panic management. For years, certain political figures have sold the illusion of absolute control. They told their followers they were untouchable. They promised protection, status, and belonging. But when pressure increases, legal, political, or public, that illusion collapses fast. And when it does, the people who carried out the dirty work are the first ones left standing alone. Let's be very clear. Loyalty in these systems only flows upward. It never comes back down. When the shield disappears in recent weeks, we have seen visible fractures inside the political machinery tied to Donald Trump and his inner circle. Longtime enforcers, strategists, and public attack dogs are suddenly being distanced, sidelined, or quietly blamed when things go wrong. This is not coincidence. This is strategy. Stephen Miller, once one of the loudest and most aggressive architects of hardline immigration policies, has noticeably faded from public defense when controversy hits. Reports indicate he is no longer present in certain internal discussions that once revolved around him. When the heat rises, the distance grows. Silence becomes a survival tactic. Kristi Noem, a political figure who has aligned herself closely with Trump-style politics, has publicly shifted blame rather than absorbing it. That matters. Public blame shifting is not unity, it is damage control. And damage control only happens when the leadership knows the story is getting away from them. This is how political machines shed weight. They do not protect people. They discard them. Fear at the top looks like chaos. When leaders are confident, they project calm. When they are afraid, they overreact, deflect, and accuse. Trump's recent behavior fits the second category. There are growing concerns raised by journalists, legal experts, and civil rights advocates about surveillance tactics, government overreach, and the misuse of power during his administration and beyond. Whether through data collection, intimidation of whistleblowers, or aggressive rhetoric toward private citizens, the pattern is familiar. When scrutiny increases, so does control. But here's the problem with that approach: it leaves a paper trail. Every accusation, every threat, every attempt to silence critics becomes evidence of fear, and fear at the top travels fast. Staff members notice, allies notice, and when they realize they might be the ones left holding the consequences, loyalty evaporates. That is why people run. That is why people hide. That is why people suddenly claim ignorance. The myth of protection followers are often told they are part of a movement. What they are rarely told is that they are also expendable. When investigations begin, when courts get involved, when public opinion shifts, leaders do not stand shoulder to shoulder with the people who executed their orders. They step aside. They deny. They point fingers. They let others fall so they can survive one more news cycle. This is not strength. This is cowardice dressed up as confidence. And it is important to understand this clearly. If a political figure truly believed they were innocent, they would not need scapegoats. They would not need silence. They would not need chaos. Truth does not panic. Why this matters to democracy: this moment is bigger than one man. It is about how power treats people when accountability arrives. Democracy only survives when no one is above the law. Not presidents, not advisors, not loud personalities with loyal crowds. When leaders start acting like rules are optional, history tells us exactly where that road leads. The warning signs are always the same: loyalty demanded, not earned; critics labeled as enemies; blame pushed downward; silence rewarded; truth treated as a threat. We are watching that playbook unfold again. And pretending not to see it is not neutrality, it is negligence. This is not about left versus right. This is about reality versus illusion. Power that cannot tolerate truth is power that knows it is failing, and movements built on fear always collapse under the weight of their own lies. People deserve honesty. They deserve transparency. They deserve leaders who do not abandon them the moment things get uncomfortable. And history will remember who stood for truth when it mattered. If you also support democracy and freedom, feel free to join me in this fight. Click follow, click subscribe, and join me. Divided we fall, and together we can knock down mountains. Through unity is the only way we can make a change. I speak the truth. I share a bit of history. I share what is happening. I try to keep everyone updated with what is going on. I used to write for Newsbreak, but then I went on my own so that I can speak the truth and warn people freely without rules. Because you deserve the truth. I do not consider myself independent news. I am just a truth speaker with a mix of everything. I also share about God. I appreciate your time. I do consider myself independent in the fact that no one controls my narrative. I will not say what everyone else wants to hear. That is not why I created this movement. It is either the truth or nothing. Thank you. Stay safe. God bless. I love you all. Crowning Thoughts, True Speaker, copyright 2025 by Santiago D.C. Maria, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution.